Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going in DC? What's the temperature?
DC is getting good. We're in the 70s. We're having like good spring days, although I think tomorrow is like high 80s. So we only get a taste of spring before it
Yeah,
gets really hot again. But I'll take it. I'll take it over the 40-degree days.
yeah. Same here, same here. Okay, well, I'll let y'all take it away with movie reviews.
Yeah, so first I want to start. I saw actually a stand-up comic last Friday, the legendary George Wallace.
Mm.
Great show, and I can't remember the name. There was someone that opened for him who she writes for the Sherry Shepherd show. So she had like a good routine too. But yeah, he's I've never seen him live, but he's a hoot. He's a blast. If he comes to Atlanta, he comes to Philly. I encourage to check him out. He does such a good job. One thing I learned, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, he has a show with Laverne Cox, and it got canceled. It's not renewed for a second season.
Yeah, so that's funny you say that because he did mention that at the end, that he has this show, and you know, all these it depends on the streamer, right? I don't know how they advertise things, but no, I never even heard of this. I never even
That's what a
seen
lot
it
of people
promoted
said
on
that.
Amazon. Uh, and I'm surprised. Like I learned they had a season that came out in February. Didn't see much or anything about it, and now that it's canceled. But I started watching a couple episodes. It's pretty good. It's very, it's very sitcom-y. It's really helpful. It really sets him up for his type of humor, which I think is where he shines, and things like that. So if y'all have not seen Clean Slate, as you mentioned, it's only one season out, 8 episodes. Check it out. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of shows too, I also wanted to let people know Andor season 2 is back. But they're releasing like 3 episodes at a time each week, it seems like, and it's a blast. It's probably one of the best TV shows, or one of my favorite TV shows of the past few years. Really good storytelling, really cool kind of that Star Wars universe without lightsabers or anything like that, or Jedi or anything. It's really you're getting like the core um, and the show picks up like 1 year after the incidents of season 1, and you get a really good taste of, these things take time. Everyone's in a different place, and everyone's kind of working towards trying to reach what we learn in Star Wars of getting the Death Star plans and trying to overtake the Empire. So, highly recommend. Um, Finally, I did see a latest release on Netflix called Havoc. And this is a movie starring Tom Hardy as a like police officer who's got to save a politician's kid because a drug deal went wrong, and he's fighting his way through the different gangsters and corrupt police officers and good guys also that are like along the way. It's directed by Gareth Edwards, who is known for The Raid and The Raid 2. So he's known for like these well choreographed fight scenes. If you've seen any of those movies, this one it was okay. Tom Hardy, Forrest Whitaker's in it. Timothy Oliphant, a big star-studded cast, but it turns into a lot of CGI shootouts and a lot of CGI action scenes. And again, it's a Netflix release. You're not asking for much with Netflix. It's under 2 hours, but this one you can kind of open your phone during some of these poorly created action scenes to catch up on the news. And that's it for me.
Uh, well, so speaking of Tom Hardy, Tom Hardy also has a series out on Paramount, I believe, called Mobland with Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's in, and he has something else going on too. I can't remember the name of the project. So it seems like he's trying to flood the zone with material. So I'm gonna check out Mobland and tell you what that's all about. So I too grabbed a hold of a series this weekend. It's called The Narrow Road to the Deep North. It's a long title, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stars Jacob Elordi and Odessa Young, and it's basically about a young soldier who's also a doctor who goes off to war, and he actually becomes a prisoner of war, and he's seeing heinous things happen as a prisoner of war, and he's helped keeping other prisoner of war alive from the fact that he's a doctor. But the only thing that's getting him through and keeping him motivated is his memories of a love that he had before he became a soldier. It's pretty deep. It's very dramatic, very serious, um, very melancholy. So if that's your zone and you like that type of stuff, I suggest, it's very good. Cinematography is great. The dialogue is great. Great acting. Jacob Elordi, you may know him from Euphoria fame. You may also know him because he also played Elvis in the Priscilla movie. He's been in quite a lot of movies, and I gravitate toward him because I like the projects that he picked because he isn't afraid to dive into deep art, and this series is exactly that. So if you like that hardcore drama and melancholy and sullen and might make you cry, this is the series for you. And I saw the movie. Adam, I don't know if you reviewed this already because I was away, but The Wolfman, which stars Christopher Abbott and Julia Gardner. Christopher Abbott, you know him from the series Girls on HBO, and Julia Gardner, you know her from Ozark. She was the sassy, slick mouth Ruth.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say straight up, I was disappointed. I was looking for Wolfman action. I was looking for full on transformation. I was looking on mangled body parts and attacks in the night, full moon, all that stuff. It wasn't any of that for me. It was more so a love story in the sense of, in a family because there's a daughter involved. And so it's between the husband and the wife, and then the love for the daughter and self sacrifice. Y'all could have threw that in the trash. If you wanted me to come out to the theater to see it, you should have did something else. I needed more blood. I needed more werewolf changing. I needed more horror. It just didn't. The give wasn't there. Sorry, but try again. Maybe we can do another Wolfman, but like start from the beginning and tell a brand new story. To this date, the best werewolf movie that I've ever seen in my entire life is The Initial Howling, which came out, I believe, in 1980. And the special effects still hold up. The storyline still holds up today. So if you haven't seen The Howling, check that out. Maybe y'all can remake The Howling because at this point you could up the effects because you have the technology now. Couldn't do any worse from 1980. You can only make it better.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have.
Yeah, maybe Ryan Coogler can take up the helm for the next Wolf
Maybe,
movie.
maybe.
Speaking of Ryan Coogler, I went and saw Sinners last night.
What you
And
think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. It wasn't as scary as I thought it would be, but it was really good. I thought it was really good. I love the hidden gems messaging.
Hmm.
I love the
Hmm.
music. Um,
Hmm.
I just loved. I thought they did. The costumes are great. The scenery was great. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. But I did want to talk about success. So this is the second week. It's number one at the box office. Um, that now they've earned 122.5 million domestically and 161.6 globally. Now their initial projection was 35 million, so they've superseded that. The budget was 90 million, so they definitely increased crushed that. But I saw this interview, and this woman was asking Ryan, she said, you're one of the most successful Black directors, and he said that it's interesting that when they talk about his success, they always bring in his race. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? As opposed to, he said it started with Black Panther and all that, but people really didn't talk about the success that it did. They were talking about, oh, this Black director did this. And so, something interesting. But I thought it was really good. And I love that I love the difference between, one of my friends, I want a couple friends. One of my friends said, who's that playing Michael B. Jordan's twin? I said, it's him. He said, and I don't think he heard because he said, "Oh no, that's him." Yeah,
Yeah, that's a credit to the movie making and Michael B. Jordan, right? That
or
someone
somebody's
can
getting
actually
old,
think it's someone playing his twin.
or somebody's getting old.
That's very true too.
But no, I was
Shots
shocked.
fired.
It was the first time I've been in the movies in a long time, and it was packed. You know, it was just about packed the theater. But no, I thought it was great, and I'm so glad. It was interesting because I made a post on Facebook. I said, I don't know what movie y'all saw, but I thought this was great. You know what I mean? And a lot of people were
Mhm.
commenting. One woman, she commented, I thought it was good, but it got kind of boring towards the end. And here's the thing too, not to give it away, spoiler alert, when the credits hit, I almost left. And one of my friends was like, no, 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 y'all wait, let's
Did you
wait.
watch both? Did you watch both of them?
Yes. No, it was
Okay.
two?
It's two.
You left
No,
too
because the
soon.
lights came up.
There's two.
Okay, but because the lights came up, that's why I left. But on the second one, I want after the first one. But let me ask you this because this is the question: do you think there'll be a sequel?
So I saw an interview with Ryan Coogler, and he said that he did it that way on purpose in case he ever decided to revisit it.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was.
think for most people that write, and I'm going to speak for myself because I write.
Mhm,
Um, you tend to flesh out stories with different versions in mind,
mhm.
and you take a course, and there's always that thing that looms in the universe that you can sample off of if you need to. So I think that he probably already has something in his mind, whether he
Yeah,
revisits it or not. But at least
yeah,
it's nice to know that he has something in the bank.
yeah. He said he always want to do a project like that. So well done, well done.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, anything coming out of the pipeline?
Well, so they got the Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, the Thunderbolts coming out, but I haven't been convinced by any of the trailers. I think, Marvel's really got to find themselves because they've had a few duds in a row right now. That's the big one. I don't even think it's going to beat Sinners. I think Sinners will probably stay at number one. I will say though, the re-release of, did you see the second movie was the re-release of Revenge of the Sith? The Star Wars Episode 3 was the second place movie over the weekend, which is wild to
Wow.
think a
Yeah,
movie from so long ago. But Star Wars is big, so yeah, that was wild. But yeah, nothing really major on my list.
yeah.
So I'm with you on the Thunderbolts. Marvel, the last great thing you did was X-Men 97. I was hoping you were going to keep that train rolling. Honestly, I didn't even see the new Captain America film. I haven't been interested. Nothing is pulling me back into the Marvel universe that way. From what I hear, these two films are setting up for this. Kevin Feige is, he's the new head of Marvel and he's going in a direction. And from what I'm hearing, those two films are setting up the opening of, what we're going to get with the Fantastic Four and, Robert Downey Jr. playing Doomsday, not Doomsday,
Doctor
Scar,
Doom.
excuse me, Doctor Doom. Um, so I'm enticed, but I'm not convinced. I'll say that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, as always, thanks for letting us know what to spend our time, money on, what not to. We're right back after this.